welcome all to this exciting edition of Sattology, debunking mythology. And I have a very great person with me whom I have respected for many years. And he's part of the tradition that I belong to. It's called Gaudiya Vaishnava tradition. And he is an amazing personality, born and brought up in the US. And right now he's in India. So joining us from India to share his wisdom and his experience with us. So I'm pleased to announce you his grace. We call him his grace, Sarva Drik. So you can call him Sarva or Drik. Sarva Drik Prabhu from India. Right now from India, but he is from the US. So welcome Sarva Drik Prabhu to this Sattology edition of discussion.
Thank you for having me, Adi. It's a pleasure to be here.
So you have such a pleasing personality, and your face is glowing. And so, what do you do in your life that it makes you such a bright personality? Looking just physically, appearance is so bright.
I've been practicing Krishna Bhakti for almost 50 years.
Oh wow!
We live very in the Sanskrit language. We call it sattvic lifestyle. Life in the mode of goodness, eating pure food, pure thoughts, pure action. Living in life in relationship with God. It gives happiness from within. The whole world is looking for happiness without, isn't it? They want to find happiness in a bottle, in a relationship, in a drug, and they become unhappy. They find happiness within by meditation, by prayer, by action for the good of humanity. And this is happy. What everyone's looking for.
Coronavirus days going on, and people are getting into all kinds of depression and negativity. But to see a personality like you, immediately people are filled with happiness, that there's a hope. So what is your background? Like, how did you come to this path? And you said you were doing it for 50 years, and most of us have not even been 50 years right now. So what brought you to this path for long, and afterwards I'm going to ask you how you sustain yourself.
Okay. Actually, there's two answers to that. One is the philosophical side and one is the practical side. We come to good fortune in our life by creating good fortune from our past life.
Correct.
So I'm very fortunate to have come to the path of bhakti, to accepted a bona fide spiritual master in the personality of A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, the founder Acharya of ISKCON. That's my great good fortune. But how did I come practically? Some friends brought me to the temple.
Oh, and which city was that?
In 1973, July.
July. And which city in the US?
Portland, Oregon.
Portland. Oh, okay. So people from Portland, I think you should meet him, because he's your own Oregon, and you should meet him and see how he has grown so much. And he, at the age of 50, no one can imagine he's probably around, what is your age now? Right now?
I'll be 68 this year.
68. At the age of 68, he looks like he's 40 years old. He looks way younger than many other people. So what is that? So when you met devotees, your devotee friends in Portland, did you meet them in Portland or some other city?
I was living with a group of people, some artists, and I was in college, and they suggested, let's go to the Krishna temple. I thought, what's Krishna? What's that? Come on, it's like yoga. I said, yoga? Not interested. I said, but they serve this wonderful vegetarian food. I said, is it really? Free vegetarian food? Okay, let's go. So they took me to the temple, but the moment I walked in, actually, that day, my whole life changed. It was a very profound spiritual experience. And 2 weeks later, I dropped out of college, horrified my father, and moved into the temple, shaved my head, moved into the temple, and took up this wonderful path of Krishna Bhakti. Never looked back.
So your father, what was his profession? What did he do?
My father was a professor of orthopedics. He was an orthopedic surgeon and a lieutenant colonel in the United States Air Force. Highly educated man. Yeah, and of course I was his oldest son, so of course he expected me to follow in his footsteps. So When I came home one day with a shaven head, with a tilak, and very enthusiastic for Krishna. What are you doing? Where's your girlfriend? Where's your guitar? Where's your skis? Where's your fishing pole? What happened to you?
Yeah.
So he
I
was
know.
quite shocked.
Yeah. So did you ever, before you met these wonderful people, did you ever think that what do you know about Sanatana Dharma or Vedic or Hinduism before you met them?
I was always attracted to India. My father took a post in England for some time, and he brought the whole family there. We were staying in a bed and breakfast place. They give you a place to stay, they give you breakfast. And in the afternoon and evening, there's a big argument with 5 kids. Where are we going to eat? So I was always arguing, New Punjab, let's eat Indian food. So I always had some disposition towards Indian culture.
So it was the
And
food. It was the
got
food that
devoted.
attracted you first. Huh? It was the food that attracted you first.
There's the food and the culture. They're very nice people. I met them in London, England. They were running a restaurant. They're Punjabis.
Yeah.
Super nice people, polite, cultured people.
Yeah.
So that impression stayed with me. I was 13 years old. So that impression stayed with me.
That's right. No. So you. So you're being in this movement for 50 years, the Bhakti movement, and what keeps you going? Because it's a for Americans who would like to know that because most of the Americans today are not aware of the many spiritual traditions of India, but there is a huge respect for India. I mean, the one of the biggest powers of India in the US is a soft power, yoga, vegetarianism, and all these different things that India has given them. What has kept you going uh, for this? So you mentioned about bhakti just now, and for 50 years you have been practicing it. And there are many people, I'm sure, can't even pronounce the word bhakti. For people who don't know, is Bhakti. And so what is bhakti according to you?
Bhakti is actually these books you see behind me. This is a fraction of the books that describe what is bhakti.
Yeah.
You can't describe it in one sentence or one lifetime, actually. Bhakti ultimately, to encapsulate the idea in a nutshell, bhakti means devotion to God.
Right.
That encompasses every aspect of life. And the way we relate to other people, the way we love our wife, our husband, our children, the way we eat, the way we go to work, the way we breathe, the way we look at life is all bhakti. How we see ourselves in relationship with the Supreme Person or God. We call him Lord Krishna.
So today is a Twitter generation, so people can't read more than 140 characters. And people are not used to, when you show all these books, people are going to run away. So in this, in like today, I'm talking about a regular person and not a person like you who is focused. But a normal young guy cannot even write more than 150 characters at a time or 280 characters. And if he's very philosophical, he might write a paragraph of 200 words. But how do you, what keeps you going, which is more personal, like the taste? You said food is one thing that going, but other than that, because you already have spent a large amount of time in this lifestyle that you have.
Bhakti is exactly that. It's a lifestyle. It's not, I have spiritual life here, here's my material life. But in bhakti, our whole life becomes devotion to God. Each breath is devotion to God. How am I breathing? Breathing is going on, even while we're sleeping, breathing is going on, right?
Yes.
But how is it going on? It's automatically happening. Blood is circulating, breathing is going on, nerve synapse is going on, our whole body, digestion is going on. Everything is going on by the grace of God. So we should learn to be introspective. It's not just about reading books. It's about experiencing the grace of God at every moment. And there's no experience that equals that.
So out of these books that you're showing me in the back, is there any one book which attracts you? And then see, many people are not like you. They don't have philosophical bent. They like to do things, and you mentioned a very good point. It's a lifestyle, and you can still do regular work, but you can do something at the same time, keeping that mindset that you have. So what is that one book which people can learn from and practice it?
That would be Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is a practical book. It was spoken not to a yogi, to a meditator, to a priest. It was spoken to Arjuna, who was a warrior, who had problems in the execution of his duty. He has problems in his life, and Krishna is speaking how to solve those problems.
That's right. Okay. So in when you say when we talk to uh, many people, and generally they
And
have
in the
questions.
next,
Sorry.
it teaches us how to be happy in this lifetime and in the next, to be eternally happy.
Yeah, that's a wonderful point. And you brought up another point for me, and which is the reincarnation, which you brought, and which is a very debatable topic in the academic circle, especially to the youngsters. So, what is your view about the next life that you just spoke about? I'll repeat the question for you. So, you spoke a word about next life. So, what do you mean by next life?
That the soul is eternal. People typically misidentify themselves with their body. But is this self bones or skin or fat or hair or blood? The self is different from the body. Like I say, I have my hand. I don't say me hand, this is my hand. I have a head, I have an ear, I have a nose. But am I a nose? Am I a hand? The self, or the Atma, which is the Sanskrit word, is transcendental to the body, which is composed of organs and skin and bones and hair and fat, blood, all of these things. So Bhagavad Gita teaches us what is the self. If we don't know what is the self, how will we be happy? How will we know how to live in this world if we can't even understand what is the self? Bhagavad Gita teaches the ABC of spiritual life, and you can progress through Bhagavad Gita one verse at a time and get tremendous benefit just by reading one single verse of 700 verses in Bhagavad Gita.
Yeah. So one, you mentioned about this great book Bhagavad Gita, which I am also a student of, and another thing which you mentioned, a lifestyle, and I have seen you because I know you for many years that you dance very well. So when you are in the music kirtan, then you're dancing. So and many people have issues on kirtans and other places that so it becomes the process that you follow is very lively. There's a dance there, there's a music there, there is a philosophy. So it's not just philosophy only. Philosophy can be very dry, but there is other processes of action. So what do you want to tell our viewers about that, little bit about your experience in that part of it as well, about your process? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay. So, what is the process? So, bhakti involves dance and music and other things. So, don't worry about the delays. I'm going to cut it out. Interview, cut it out. We'll edit it.
Okay.
So,
All right. Yeah.
okay.
Yes, I can.
So, so what is the process? So the process involved dance, music, and I've seen you dancing. I've seen you playing music. You sing very well. So, what are those aspects you want to tell? Because those are the things which most of the Western society thinks is not possible in a spiritual tradition.
It's a joyful process. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the father of the Bhakti movement, described it as Kevala Ananda Kanda. It's the path of unalloyed spiritual happiness. Singing, dancing, eating nice food, associating with nice people. And this is the process in this age. Who can actually meditate successfully in this age? Mostly meditation is a farce. They close their eyes, they sit with Jnana Mudra, Padmasana, and before you know it, they're sleeping. So this is a very active process. In America, people are funny. They hire a gardener, they hire someone to clean their house, they hire someone to mow the lawn, then they pay money to go to the gym to get exercise. So we jump and dance, get exercise, we eat nice sattvic food, maintain our health, and associate with like-minded people. And this is the most happy thing, natural thing. Srila Prabhupada, my Guru Maharaj, would say, it's not an artificial imposition on the mind. Everyone wants this thing. Everyone wants a good friend, good society, healthy food, healthy body. So, okay.
Yeah, you can.
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu,
Mhm. Go ahead.
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the father of Krishna Bhakti, who brought Krishna Bhakti to the world, beginning in India 500 and some years ago, taught Kevala Ananda Kanda. This is the path of unalloyed spiritual happiness. We sing, we dance, we eat nice sattvic food, we associate with like-minded people. These are the things everyone's looking for. Who doesn't want a friend? Someone who loves you and respects you. Who doesn't want to eat nice, delicious, healthy food that increases the duration of life, health and longevity, effulgence? Who doesn't want to sing and dance? In America, people are funny. They hire someone to mow their lawn, to do the garden, to do the laundry, to clean the house. Then they go out and spend more money to go to the gym. Why not sing and dance, get exercise dancing and actually spiritual happiness, dancing and singing the names of God.
That's right. So you mentioned Sattvic around at least 3 times in our discussion today. So what is exactly Sattvic?
Sattvic is a term that describes the mode of goodness. Our activities in this world are categorized in 3 different modes: Sattvic, Sattva, Tamas, and Rajas. Sattvic means the mode of goodness. Foods, for example, in the mode of goodness are healthy, they increase the duration of life, they're sweet, fatty, uh, pleasing to the body. Foods in the mode of passion or rajas are too hot, too salty, bitter, they create gas, burning sensation in the stomach. Foods in the mode of ignorance, tamas, have a bad smell, they're rotten, they're the product of slaughter, of inhumane treatment of animals, and create disease in the body. So if we examine every activity in human life, all these things are governed by these gunas, sattva, rajas, and tamas. Like for example, charity. Charity in the mode of goodness means charity to a proper person at a proper time, without any desire for remuneration or personal benefit. Charity in the mode of passion means I want to be recognized. Put my name with a big plaque. Everyone say, Jai, our glories to you. Thank you so much. You're wonderful. You're a great benefactor. We appreciate you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. This is mode of passion. Mode of ignorance. Why do I have to give money to these people? They're always asking me for money. Okay, I'll give because I have to. They're making me, they're forcing me. In all of our activities, we see these modes of nature are always active. Sattva, mode of goodness, which brings happiness. Rajas, the mode of passion, which brings distress. It brings happiness in the beginning, distress in the end. The mode of ignorance, distressful in the beginning, distressful in the end. Or one person put it in this way. He said, mode of goodness means a person who wants to be a happy man. And mode of passion means someone who wants to be a successful, recognized man. And mode of ignorance, tamagun, means, hey, what's happening, man? So we can think of it in that way.
That's a lot of good information, and I'm sure the viewers must be really delighted to see one of their own uh, being engaged in such a process and for such 50 years. And in fact, more seriously than most of the people from India, because many Indians may not be dedicated the way you are. So I really, my one last question to you before I end this, and probably we'll definitely have more sessions. We'll discuss more. Now, what what makes you love Krishna?
Because Krishna is God. He's our dearmost friend. Krishna is a name for God. He has many names. You can call Krishna, Krishna, Ram, Govinda, Vasudev, Allah, Jehovah, Jesus. God has many different names, but his foremost name is Krishna. Krishna means all attractive. If he's not God, if he's not all attractive, how have Americans come to Krishna Bhakti? How have Africans come? Chinese come? Australians, Europeans, Japanese, all attracted because Krishna, the Supreme Lord, is all attractive. He's not an Indian God. He's for the whole world. He's for the whole universe. So people are surprised, especially they see me living here in India. Like, what are you doing here? I'm married to an Indian. I'm eating Indian food. I'm wearing Indian clothes. They say, you're an American. You should be wearing Levi's and a tank top. And when I'm in America, they say, why are you dressed like an Indian? You're an American. So in this way, don't live, don't die. So I have my own life. I'm very happy with this life. It's a very pleasing life to dress simply, to engage our mind in thoughts of self-realization, to engage our body for the welfare of human society, to engage our heart in love of God. This is the most pleasing thing. And anyone can take it up. Anyone should take it up. If you want happiness, internal happiness from the inside out, this is the process, Krishna Bhakti.
Yeah, no, very beautifully explained, and I really admire your faith in Krishna and how wonderfully you have been dedicated to this process. My one little lighter question: did you marry an Indian woman for food, or it was a genuine love?
No, actually, when we first started seeing each other, because before I became a devotee, I was also eating non-vegetarian food, and she was also. So she wasn't accustomed to cooking vegetarian food. So she invited me over for dinner one time, and I'm eating what she cooked, and I'm thinking, how can I marry this person? She doesn't know how to cook. But in course of time, she's become the most amazing cook. And you can't see in the video, but I have the stomach to back up my claim. Very wonderful cook, wonderful person also. I'm
So,
blessed to.
how long have you been married to her? And
We've been married 12 years.
12 years. Okay. So it was beautifully talking with you, Sarva Drik, Prabhu, and I would love to invite you again next time. But it's good to have an introduction and also to people who are watching this show, that there are people from all over the world who are following the Sattological literatures like Ramayana, Mahabharata, Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, and they are having a wonderful spiritual lives. And like Sarva Drik Prabhu mentioned, that is full enjoyment. There is music, there is dancing, and there is philosophy, deep philosophy. And you can see all the literatures right behind himself. Large volume of literature. So it's not a so when somebody says Hindus are no scriptures, I said you probably don't know about Hinduism or Sanatana Dharma. And it's one of the world's best documented cultures. And everything has a scientific reason behind it, right from waking up early in the morning to going down to sleep in the evening. So thank you all for joining, and thank you, Sarva Drik Prabhu, very much to this discussion at Sattology channel.
Thank you, Adi. It was a pleasure to be here with you today.
Any last words you would like to convey to the audience?
Please get one of these books. Read Bhagavad Gita, read Bhagavatam. There's such a wealth of beauty, of knowledge, of inspiration in these books from India. And to chant the names of God is however you happen to know it. Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Chant in this way, or chant God's name however you happen to know it. But don't waste your life. Do something to understand your relationship with God. This is the purpose of human life.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Adi. It was a pleasure to be here with you today.
Same here. Thank you.